would like to open a question and any questions from the floor? Yes, John.
Sir, thanks for the talk. My concern is this, when you talk about food, our local diet at the moment, let's just say finding healthy food is not easy.
Yes.
Isn't it? Thosai, chana, nasi lemak, whatever, right?
Mm.
If you want to lead a life where you're working, what would be the healthy choices in a place that's typical that where people will work at? Like if you go to, let's say, a mama shop, or Indian shop or Chinese shop, what would you recommend to be generally safe and healthy good food, and not worry too much about things which are not too good for you?
Okay.
Just give the basics.
All right. That's a very good question. All right. I think you hit the nail on the head. And you know, this is not a peculiar Malaysian problem. It's even worse in all the developed countries. You know, for instance, in America and all that, the fast food culture, you know, the fast food culture in Australia, England and all that, the fast food culture has created a big problem of obesity, because these fast foods are competing with each other to give more and more calories and all that. And you know, giant pack and what do you call it? Super size. Yeah, super size and all that, you know, and two for the price of one, buy one free and all that sort of thing. You know, so encouraging more and more consumption. So if you really ask me, how you should eat, you should eat, first of all, if you can, I know you might balk as this, take your own food to work. That's one way. Secondly, I tell you what is very good here is the so-called, you know, places which serve economy rice, you know. Actually, you go there, they got 10, 20 kinds of vegetables, they got steamed fish and all that. So you pick all those things that are not fried, you pick enough vegetables, you know, sort of like buffet, but you pile your plate with vegetables. Yes. Now, there are a few tricks you can do, you know. It's not by accident that the Westerners eat their salad first. They put in the good things first and then enjoy the bad things a little bit. Not the other way around. You know, fill up yourself with all the fried chicken and then you try to eat one stalk of vegetable. So what you must do is you sit down and you eat your salad. Eat your salad, fill up, and then enjoy the protein and enjoy your dessert. Now even the salad, you will notice it's not by accident, it's very colorful. You try to eat vegetables at least 4 colors a day. Why? Because each of them contain a different type of antioxidant. And antioxidants protect your heart, protect your cancer, protect you from cancer. Why do you think the Western salad looks so attractive and colorful, you know? Because they try to put 4 colors inside. Alright? So these are things that if you want to follow strictly, you can actually take your, you know, it's a cultural thing. I mean, we like to go and eat with our friends and all that, so we don't want to miss that. So next time carry your pack and say, okay, you eat the roti canai. No, I mean, if you want to, you know. So that's one way. Secondly, you can actually go and look for these places, you know. Nowadays, any place where you work, there are lots of choices, isn't it? So even, I mean, if you insist on going to a mama shop, now you make it difficult for me now. Let me.
The problem we have here, when we go there, we want to eat something, but you know, the first thought that crosses most people's minds is it going to be healthy or not?
Yes, I know.
The only thing I can think of is just thosai.
But yes. you know, if you go down, even to nowadays, mama shops are also learning. They are learning from the economy rice, you know. Now, if you go to mama shops and banana leaf shops now, you find there's a large selection of vegetable dishes, you know. They're putting it out, you know. It's for you to go and pick it, rather than pick the other way around. What we're doing is we're putting a mount, you know, we must learn how to eat rice as an item, not as a vehicle. If you see a proper Chinese diet, they give you rice at the end, you know, a small bowl. Whereas some of us used to be trained to eat rice, a whole mountain of rice, and then you put all the things on top, right? Plenty of gravy, maybe 3-4 gravies and that.
Oh, that's nice.
So you know, if you went to Vietnam, now I tell you, I first went to China in 1989. First time, no, they just opened the door. Within a few years, they wanted to do sports diplomacy and all that, so they wanted to have Asian Games. I mean, my first trip to China in 1989, Beijing. The whole of Beijing was covered in bicycles. I hardly could see a car. Everybody was cycling everywhere. And I stayed there 1 week, I couldn't find one fat Chinese. Okay? I now go to China quite frequently. Now, I see all the little children are round now. Especially the boys. Because they are mollycoddled, one child, one boy, you're not even allowed to play because he may get a cut, he may fall down. So and then taken to McDonald's as a treat every day. You know, because, do you know, The largest turnover in the world, I'm told, for McDonald's is in Tiananmen Square in Beijing. You know, it's the largest, longest queue because it's a treat. It's not a fast food, it's a treat.
Ironic how a capitalistic company does well in a communist nation.
Well, you know, but it's a fact. You should go and see the McDonald's in Tiananmen Square. There's such a queue that the queue they actually put there how many minutes more.
Oh.
Yes, and if you come to the point, they'll say 30 minutes more. That means, you know, if you stand here, you got 30-minute walk. You know, so so you know, so this is a change in the culture, huh? So I think you basically we can create a demand. You know, slowly if everybody follows this, the shop will change. You know, like now I said, even the mama shops now, if you go, they're actually having more and more vegetables and all. So it's for you to go to that section, lah. You know, that section, and not the roti bomb.
Subway.
Huh?
It's very popular
Yes.
these days.
Yeah. But like I said, if you are not comfortable, not happy, most of the time take your own food. Have a good healthy sandwich with what you call rye bread or.
Any questions? Yes.
You know, when you were competing back in the day, you know, I mean, nowadays people's diets tend to be very, you know, sportsmen tend to be very regimented and strict. What kind of diet did you follow?
Okay, you really want to know? I stayed in a university hostel. I ate the same $1.10 food. They used to give us on a tray. That's what I had to become the Asian Games champion. Okay.
I got a follow-up question.
The meal was $1.10. You know, hostel meal. I don't know what it costs now, but in the 60s it used to be 1 ringgit 10 cents. You know?
So you can get
Uh,
a gold medal in Asian Games with a 1 ringgit 10 cent. And our
no,
athletes,
3.30, 3 meals.
3 meals, 3 ringgit 30 cents. Our athletes live in stadiums with air-conditioned rooms and controlled food, and they can't even get number 10. Why do you think it's that?
Ask them lah. Yes. You see, now you must compare times. We are products of our times, right? At that time, we were just a fledgling nation, and as individuals, we had very little. You know, we had very little. We just had enough to get by, and also we had very little distractions. Television did not come into this country until 1964, right? We don't have, there's no such thing as mobile phones and all that. The first time I went to Bangkok in 1959, I was 15 years old, my first international meet, leaving the country for the first time. My parents had not told me, the moment you reach, you must find a telephone and telephone back, you arrive safely. So I went there and they put us in those days as athletes, we go, they put us in orphanages. 20 will be in a dorm, sharing one toilet. Today they want 5-star hotel. Because it's the feature of the times. We accepted it then. So anyway, just to tell you a story. So me and another friend called Dhanapal Naidu discussed through her. His parents also told him the same thing. So both of us got in a taxi because we were told the only place where you can make a telephone call is to go to the general post office, book a call and call back. So we took a taxi, went to the general post office, booked a call and waited 2 hours. And the guy will tell you cabin number 6. So he first called, he got his, Dhanapal Naidu's call came first. So of course we are all excited. I followed him into the cabin waiting for mine. So, and then you have to pay in advance. So we could only, it was 15 ringgit or something like that for 1 minute. So for 3-minute call, you cannot buy less than 3 minutes. So he bought, almost a whole pocket money went to pay the 3 minutes, alright? And then he bought the call waiting for 3 minutes. Here was his Dhanapal Naidu. Hello mother, how are you? I was father. Hello father, how are you? Where's uncle? Hello uncle, how are you? By the time you finish 3 minutes. So you see, today mobile phones and all these things, and they have a lot of distractions, and we are paying the price for affluence. This country has become affluent. So those days as young people, the only recreation we have is to go out to play. We are just waiting for 4 o'clock to run out. Any empty place, we get a football, we kick. If we don't have a football, we take a stick and pretend to play hockey. We were very good at pretending, but pretense brought us places. 1 minute we are pretending to be, this and that and the other. We are mimicking. We were mimicking. But that was all we had, and so we were tough. And at that time, there was no Ministry of Sports, no National Sports Council. You just funded your own way through the associations. All the associations, they had secretaries who operated the office from the booth of their car if they had a car. They didn't have a car, they tied the typewriter to the motorbike. Actually, and then you go there and you stop somewhere and actually type out a letter for you. That's how secretaries, hand typewriters. They actually write a letter and all that. So, and if they wanted to send a team, they would raise money by doing flag day, stand in the street corner selling flags for 10 cents, or organize a famous thing those days was Tari Menari. Organize a dance.
Yes.
Alright? People will come. Alright? Majlis makan dan Tari Menari. So you collect some money. And at the end you tell the guys, hey guys, we managed to raise, we are 300 ringgit short per athlete. Each of you please bring 300. So you go around begging among your friends, your parents or somebody, and you top up. Okay, then we go. And I tell you, the biggest reward we get, and I appreciate it, I still keep them, is when you win, you get a telegram from the Prime Minister. Okay, I've got telegrams from Tunku Abdul Rahman, I got telegram from Tun Abdul Razak. We're not forgetting Tun Samandan and Manika Vasagam to boot. Okay. Okay. Right. So that's the reward. That's the reward. Okay, so we were simplistic. We thought this was the right thing to do, and we just went out and do it and got tremendous satisfaction from trying to do the best with what we had. Very simple.
So in the end, true indeed in sports, what excels most is a human spirit rather than everything else.
You see, the thing that when you talk of excellence, excellence is not something that you can be taught overnight or in a training camp. It's something that you build over time, right? And to do anything, if you do anything, you find that actually you've got to work at it a lot, all right? For instance, if Tiger Woods, to be what he is, he hits 1,000 balls a day. He doesn't just sit down and lie down and do well. So in the same way, if you want excellence, you need to be very disciplined. You need to be dedicated. You need to have spirit, and the discipline. When we talk about discipline towards excellence, we are not talking about the kind of discipline that most of us appreciate. The discipline we are talking about is stand up and say yes sir, 3 bags full. Then we say this guy is very disciplined. But the discipline comes from within. Within the discipline I am talking about is running that extra round when you feel like you're just vomiting, or getting up at 6 a.m. to run the 5 kilometers. That is the discipline I'm talking about. When everybody else is sleeping, when everybody else says I'm tired, you're saying I'll go the extra mile. That difference, and that comes from building over time. And you got to live the part. You got to live the part. See, what I mean is, for instance, punctuality. Let's take punctuality. Some of us are punctual, others are not. Habitually. Now, if you look at a punctual person, most of them are punctual not because they're afraid of anybody. They are punctual because they hate to be late. You personally, inside, you hate to be late. As you're coming to a place, you're 5 minutes late, you're angry with yourself, not angry with the other guy. So the same thing about so for instance, when we talk about fighting spirit and so on, that fighting spirit is something you build over time. Not all the time told to be meek, yes sir, 3 bags full, don't argue, don't quarrel, always, the boss is right, everything. And then suddenly, when the score is 17-16, you suddenly, the tiger comes out of you and you can eat the other guy. Why are Americans generally very successful in what they do? Because they're assertive, aggressive. They're taught from young, stand up for yourself, stand up, speak, become assertive, aggressive. Not all the time, meekly, Every time we go, we see some big people, we put our shoulders down, automatically.